happen in and around the KZE listening area, and I truly enjoy when we have artistic people in the studio. Now, art comes in many different shapes and forms, through music, through poetry, and of course through painting and drawing, sculpture. And joining us right now is the president of the Woodstock School of Art, Kate McGloughlin. Good morning.
Good morning, Rick. Thanks for having me over.
It's a pleasure. It's great to see you this morning. Now, as the president of the Woodstock School of Art, what are your duties?
Oh, well, you never know what I'm going to be doing. I've cleaned bathrooms. I run meetings. Mostly I run meetings. But this was a great opportunity for me to get to curate a show for a change. When you're the boss, you get to do whatever you want, right?
So you're putting on a show, the
We are
Woodstock Landscape, Then and Now. Now, this is an exhibition of landscape paintings from years ago and
1906.
contemporary.
Yeah,
1906.
it starts with Burge Harrison at 1906. It was a great pleasure to assemble this work.
Hold everything.
Oh, brother.
So before 1906, there was no painted history of the area?
Well, yes, indeed there was. Thanks for clarifying that,
Okay.
Rick.
Well, I had to. So we're starting at 1906.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
And we're starting in the hamlet of Woodstock. And we're talking about the great tradition of landscape painting and instruction at the Art Students League Summer School of Painting, and what has now become the Woodstock School of Art. We've picked up the thread, and we've been running with the ball since 1968.
Now, I think of paintings of Hudson Valley landscape and majestic sunsets and huge Thomas Cole paintings.
Well, think again.
Okay.
This is a different period and a different bunch of artists. No disrespect to the Hudson River School, of course. It came from a great tradition. There was something different going on in the early part of the 20th century. Burge Harrison is the most prominent figure, Bolton Brown also. He was concerned with the American Impressionism, mostly the tonalist tradition. And so he came with a whole different idea than the Hudson River School. They were interested in the sublime also, and Mr. Harrison was certainly interested in the beauty of nature, but he had a different approach. Later on, about 13 years later, some of the kids that came along, Andrew Dasberg and Henry Matson, they had been influenced by what was going on in Europe. And so there was a modernist trend that started around the early part of the 20th century. People,
So a different style of
absolutely
painting.
a different
Indeed.
style, yeah. You can see it in the show too. They're pretty well represented. But what I did is I remember what my teacher Robert Angelock, the people he introduced me to, their paintings and the stories that he told, and so I had to make sure there was a certain 20 or 30 people that were represented in the show. And then when I started looking into the collections, I found other artists that I'd never heard of, artists that had been given short shrift who never got time to or never got the fame, and I wanted to put them on the walls as well.
So any artists that I may not know that you could turn me on to?
Alfred Huddy. Where do you see this painting? Otto Bierhaus. Anita Smith. When you see her work, you will fall out. And I hope you'll come see the show. Anita Smith was from Philadelphia, from, I think, probably a well-to-do family. And she sold, she was given money to buy a debutante's ball, and she traded in for a or a train ticket to Woodstock, and came and fell in love with the place. And the next year, she came back and studied with John Carlson. And her work is terrific.
Now, the exhibition is being shown where?
At the Woodstock School of Art. We're over on Route 212 between Woodstock and Saugerties. You set your GPS to 2470 Route 212, and you'll find us. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 3. Call first if you come later in the month. We're going to do a little paving. I don't want you to be disappointed.
Now, the show is running from now
Yeah?
through
November 2nd. Yeah, we opened on Saturday with a really beautiful opening. It was really well attended and on a gorgeous day, and it was a perfect day to see a landscape painting show of this ilk, you know. Talking about beauty and harmony and the most exciting part of the Hudson Valley, which is why we're here, right? And it's well represented.
So now, how many pieces of art approximately are being represented in the show?
Well, there are approximately 56 paintings, as a matter of fact, by 52 different artists. A few of my favorite artists, I had more than one piece put in. I'm a big John Carlson fan, and I knew the one that I wanted to put in. The Woodstock Arts Association Museum has a phenomenal collection. They're great friends, and I knew of one piece that I wanted to put in, but then when the James Cox Gallery at Woodstock showed me a couple other, I knew they had to go in too. And the same thing happened with Cecil Chichester and Frank Swift Chase. There was a couple that had to go in.
Now, James was in here about a week and a half ago.
Oh, good for him. He's a great guy, huh?
Yeah. And so now these places, like the Woodstock Artists Association Museum, WHAM, you found the painting there and said, can I hang this up in my place?
Absolutely. We have a great partnership with them, and they loan work to other institutions all the time. And we have a phenomenal gallery and a great relationship with Josephine and everybody at the WHAM. So that's what you do. You go to collectors and you say, I'd like to make a loan of this for however long, and they agree to it. And in fact, we have about 13 pieces from their collection. Actually, 15 pieces. 15 from them, and then 13 from Arthur Anderson's collection at Morgan Anderson Consulting. It's a phenomenal collection he's got, yeah.
So now they're just blank spaces on the walls where you take these from, like with a little tiny piece of paper that says we'll be back in a month?
No, I don't think so. Many of these were in the vaults, and that was another part of my impetus. I really wanted to get this work out of the vaults and on the wall, because I don't want people to forget about Burge Harrison and John Carlson and Frank Chase and Edna Thurber and you name it. I mean, there are a lot of unsung heroes on these walls, and that's what I'd really love for people to come see, the people who maybe never got their due 100 years ago. I want to give them their due now.
Well, that's very noble of you to do that.
What can I tell you?
And that's a great thing. And there is nothing like the beauty of the area amongst which we live. Mm-hmm. And to see it represented through the eyes of an artist, because sometimes they're as true as the scenery, and other times they're embellished for further beauty. And just their take on what they're looking at and interpreting through their hands and their gestures of stroke and color is what's fascinating to me. So what are the hours of viewing?
9 to 3 every day, Tuesday through Saturday. We're closed Sunday and Monday this time of year. And, just what you were talking about, Rick, is exactly what people will see. Oftentimes it's the same location, but two different artists. And, in fact, we have one location that 3 different artists painted. Edna Thurber, Bolton Brown, and John Bentley were all painting together one day. And you see their work and their take on things. And each artist has imbued their work with their own personality and their own sensibility. And I think that it's a terrific show. I'm very proud of the work. And I'd love for everyone to come see it. Anybody that loves the Catskills or loves landscape painting will enjoy this show. There's something for everyone here.
And once again, the show is called The Woodstock Landscape, Then and Now. So it is kind of cool that you're going to be putting maybe even the same scene, but painted 100 years before current times. And the same exact thing 100 years later, and it's pretty impressive to be able to see both of those next to each other.
Oh, it really is. And the contemporary artists that are working today that are in the show are phenomenal. Each of them are so gifted, and many of them are instructors at the school. And I was delighted to include them in this exhibition, and it was really fun when we were creating the catalog to match people from 100 years ago with contemporary artists. It was quite easy in a number of cases because the location or the style was the same, and some was just absolutely the personality of the artist came through. I never met any of the artists from the early 20th century, but you can feel John Carlson's hardiness, and you can feel Neil Ives' sensitivity and Ivan Summers' sweetness. Artist personalities come out in their work, and it's so evident in this show. And it was a great honor to weave in my colleagues at the school with this, what I think is a landmark exhibition.
Well, thank you very much for having the insight and the, aptitude to get it done. And we appreciate that as lovers of art ourselves. Us, the 98.1 KZE listeners. So folks can go see this excellent exhibition of landscape paintings featuring premier landscape painters. It's called The Woodstock Landscape, Then and Now, at the Woodstock School of Art. Once again, the address?
2470 Route 212 in Woodstock, New York.
Now, Kate McGloughlin, you yourself are an artist.
I am indeed.
So that gives you the authority to know other pieces of art and to, kind of enjoy art and be an appreciator as well as a presenter. Now, what style of art do you do?
I'm a landscape painter as well.
Huh.
And funny enough, I got myself in this show. Sort of funny how that worked. I didn't expect to put myself in this show. I wanted to, be all humble and everything. And I got a lot of remarks, I'll say, from other friends who said, that looks like you have some false humility there. You better put in one of yours because you're part of the story. And I am part of the story. The reason I'm at the Woodstock School of Art is because I had a great teacher. And
who was your teacher?
My teacher was Robert Angelock, and his teacher was Arnold Blanche, and his teacher was Charles Rosen, and he came to Woodstock because John Carlson was painting there, and John Carlson came because Burge Harrison was there, and that's the Woodstock story that I want to tell.
Since 1906, we had a chronological history right there.
In 15 seconds. And I am a landscape painter, and that's the other part. I am not an art historian, and I'm not a curator either, but I'm a landscape painter with a love for these people and this work and this tradition. And I guess my message is that landscape painting is alive and well in the Hudson Valley. These are some serious painters. This is not sick, sweet sunsets. This is some badass painting. Oops, sorry about that.
That's okay.
There's some great painting. People will be delighted when they're there. It is a handsome show, to say the least. And, if they want to see more of my work, they can run down to Albert's right down the road here. Albert Shahinian's got a landscape show on. Tom Sarantonio and a fellow from California whose name escapes me right now, but Tom's a great painter also. And Albert came to my studio and picked out about 17 different things, so they can get a look at what I do. And I hope you run down there too, Rick, in your spare time.
I'm gonna. And you can also find out more about Kate McGloughlin by checking out her website, katemcgloughlin.com. That's McGloughlin, McGloughlin. And you can also, what's the Woodstock School of Arts website?
WoodstockSchoolofArt.org. And, I hope when you go to see the show, folks, I hope that you'll take a look at the studios. It's a beautiful campus, and anybody that is interested in art, you do not have to be an artist to come take classes. It's an open place. There's no entrance requirements. It's a wonderful place for beginners as well as seasoned veterans. And we'd like to break the myth that it's a serious art academy. We want you to know that there is serious artwork going on, but you do not have to be a serious artist to go in there. You just have to be a lover of art. We meet people where they are and take them to where they want to be.
Well, Kate, thank you so much for telling folks about the Woodstock School of Art and to break any preconceived notions. And can we get you to talk like a pirate?
Sure you can, Rick. I've been waiting all morning. And thanks again for the drunken sailor interlude. We hadn't even met, and you somehow knew that was my theme song. It's kind of a miracle. Anyway, thanks, and thanks for playing Leave On for me too, love. Have a great day.
More than welcome. And have a beautiful day yourself.
And Rick, did you know about the movie that's playing down the road? What it's rated?
Oh, well, have a fine day.
Very nice to meet you, love. Thank you.
And enjoy some fine beverages, maybe that start with the letter R, like rum.
Or raspberry iced tea.
You're listening to the Up and Running Morning Show, where we love to talk like pirates all day on National Talk Like a Pirate Day. So it's okay, let your guard down and talk like a pirate and run like a pirate.